Last week, I got a challenge from another YouTuber to a 5-year rebuild in NCAA football 14.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
I accepted. So let's get into this rebuild. We will be rebuilding Duke. They are a 3-star program and probably the worst team in the ACC. Compared to everybody else, Duke has done nothing in football, and that is why this is going to be a tough challenge. Now, go check out BordeauxCFB. Go check out his channel and see after this video his side of his rebuild and see who won this challenge. I'm excited to get into this, so let's get into it. So I think what we're going to do here in season 1, we're going to really build up the core of this roster. So I think I'm going to go after offensive and defensive linemen right away, build that up, and hopefully even find our quarterback of the future here in season number 1. Now, Duke's roster isn't too bad. I'm not really concerned about the older guys on the roster because obviously we're not going to see them all the way through, but we'll see if we can establish some younger guys on the roster and see how this team can play against, competition right now. And you can just see it's not pretty. FCS, we won by 7. That's how bad this team is. So right away, we're going to go and build at least the foundation guys on this squad. So we're going to start out with recruiting. We start out by going after number 1 safety in the nation. He wasn't interested at all, so we just remove him from the board right away. Now, we go after Reggie Mckenzie. He's actually pretty good, and I'm going to put my full points on him. And then there's Zach Hurst here. I like him a lot. He is an athlete, and he looks like he's going to be a defensive player, and I like him, so I'm going to put 500 points on him. Then we find Marlon Hall, a quarterback with really good potential. He is the number 6 overall quarterback in the nation, 6'4", 228, and he's actually kind of mobile. I'm going to go after him and see how that goes here in year 1. Then there's Ryan Gilbert, a pretty good speed guy. He looks like a receiver. He looks like he can play receiver or running back. I think he'll be more of a speed back if we put him there, but we're going to put full points on him. And then there's Ryan Williams here. He's a pretty good guard, 4-star out of North Carolina. I love that he's out of North Carolina because then we'll be able to have some pipeline points, some extra points to put on him. And he's a very good pass blocker. He's got 86 pass block and 78 overall. I mean, that is an excellent freshman right away. Now, Torian Robinson, he's a decent athlete, but 64 overall. I wonder how that will translate when we switch his position. I'm not really sure, but we will go after him as well. Let's just check on how our team is doing here in year 1. We don't really care about this because we haven't had any recruits yet, but not good at all. We have lost every single game pretty much. We're 2-10 at the bottom of the ACC Coastal, and it's not pretty. Alabama wins the championship here in year 1. They defeat Oklahoma. So going into the offseason, we do get a transfer, Tyler Venables from Clemson. So that will help us out tremendously in this rebuild, especially since he's a freshman coming in. So he will see this series all the way through. So in the offseason, we do get a couple of commits. You see Ryan Gilbert there at the bottom. He is our top recruit coming to the team. Brendan Clancy is a decent defensive tackle. I just need to kind of, like I said, shore up this offensive and defensive line. So we go after Clancy. He's going to be our top guy in the offseason. We put 3,000 points on him. And then looking at who else we got Zach Hurst. So he looks like he's going to be a defensive lineman, I think. We'll have to see. Marlon Hall does commit. So we get our quarterback of the future right away. And we get 5 guys committing here in the offseason. So we look really good. We have a few athletes, a few defensive players, and we are actually top 25 in our first year. Our top recruits are Gilbert, Hall, Cochran, Hurst, and Williams. So those 5 guys, those 6 guys, along with Robinson there, they will be the foundation of this program here in this rebuild. Now, Zach Hurst, he does translate well to defensive end, so we will put him at a defensive end position. He is 74 overall. Ryan Williams, we actually switch his position to tackle because he just fits our scheme there better. Ryan Gilbert ends up being the highest rated back on the team, but after training, he won't be. But very, very good start here for this program. So we go into season 2. We are kind of going to open up with the same exact schedule. Now, I don't really switch around the schedule here, and we won't we won't cheat, do the low lock cheese here when we recruit. So we'll see how we do here in season number 2. I will start a lot of freshmen here just to get them some experience, and I really want to compete here in season 4 and season 5, even next year, season 3. So we start out here in season 2 at number 91 ranked, and we start the freshman Marlon Hall at quarterback. And in his first game versus FCS East, he does tremendous. 4 touchdown passes, 1 interception. He's going to be better than I thought. 15 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. He was really, really good in that opener. But he does cool off a little bit. We lose versus Kansas. That was a bad loss. But look at this one. This was terrible. Tulane, they're 1-7, and they blew us out 13-54. Our offense can't even score 20 points in 5 straight games. That is incredible. But we end up beating Virginia Tech somehow 16-14. So a rocky start here. And then we find out that Marlon Hall actually gets injured. Luckily, it's just for the short term, just a little bit of an ankle injury. But so far, he doesn't look like he's, off to a great start. That opening game was very, very deceiving. We played FCS. We played like we played against FCS. We blew them out. But then the rest of our team, none of our young guys on offense really have done anything. But looking at defense, let's just check on Zach Hurst and see what he's done. It looks like he has a half sack so far. Oben actually leads our team in sacks. He's got 5. And there is Zach Hurst here. He looks like he has a lot of potential, but he was our guy that I was hoping that would really make a difference here as a freshman. But we'll have to see. He's got 4 years of development. So in season 2, what I want to do, I established that I recruited a couple of offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and our quarterback of the future. So let's build the athletes around them. We do recruit a couple of guys, an athlete in Reggie Holmes, Vincent Whitaker, a 77 overall cornerback, an outside linebacker in Lawrence McNeil. He's going to be very, very good. He's 79 overall. And then Derek Davis, a JUCO middle linebacker. I guess he can play any linebacker there. And I really love what we're doing in recruiting so far in these first 2 seasons. But on the field, not doing too well. We're 2-10 for the second straight year, including a 3-42 loss versus Miami. And our offense looked terrible this year. We only had one game, the entire season, we scored over 20 points. That is ridiculous. Marlon Hall is going to definitely have to be better because he is the focal point of this offense. He's going to have to produce here. I don't think he did too bad. He had 676 rushing yards in his freshman year. And we are going to run like a spread with him because he is mobile. But he's definitely going to have to put up more points than getting 3, 13, 10 points, 17 points a game. We were one of the lowest scoring teams this year. Hopefully that gets better. How about Oben, though? He leads the team in sacks with 7. And Zach Hurst doesn't have too many sacks here in his freshman season. So we finished 2-10 for the second straight year. We are on the bottom of the ACC Coastal. And then how about Bam Knight? Remember him from our Charlotte 49ers dynasty? He wins the Heisman Trophy. So going into the offseason, a little bit different here. We're going to go after Dale Moore. He looks like a very good defensive back, 87 man, 87 zone. He has 90 pursuit too. I mean, the guy is going to be a talent. He can play safety or cornerback. We decided to get some depth with Jordan Smith at quarterback because we just saw that Marlon Hall got injured. I need a guy that can at least back him up, and if he gets hurt, maybe come in and get some wins. Melvin Johnson is the next guy. He is a cornerback, good man, good zone. I really, really like him. And we move on to our signings, and we end up getting Jordan Smith, so we get our backup quarterback. We end up getting Melvin Johnson, and we beat Virginia by 1,100 points. And then Dale Moore, we go in on Dale Moore. We end up getting him. He's going to be huge for our defense. That's a great signing right there. So going into year 3, let's check out Marlon Hall. He looks primed to have a good year. He goes up. He's not the best rated quarterback, but we're going to stick it out with him. Shaka Hayward is 94 overall this year. He is our highest rated guy. But then I look at our running backs, and I'm like, where is Ryan Gilbert? He's nowhere to be found. Waters is our top running back. I'm just looking around here, and I don't see him at all. And he ends up transferring to Toledo. Toledo of all schools. He transfers there. We were planning on starting him this year. We wanted just 1 year to sit him. That ended up being a mistake. So we already lose one of our top recruits going into season number 3. So going into this season, we play a couple of decent teams up front, but none was worse than this. I mean, we lost 59. We gave up 59 on offense. I mean, on offense. I say offense because look at all the turnovers. 4 interceptions by Hall, 2 by our backup quarterback. Those were all defensive turnover, all offensive turnovers that turn into points. I mean, it is just ridiculous. 10-59, never lose a game like that. It's not looking good for Marlon Hall. He starts out this year, though, with a decent record with 3-4, but that game definitely left a weird stench on this season, and maybe we're going to have to evaluate the quarterback position, because if we do that more, we're not going to win this at all. We're not going to win this rebuild at all. So Marlon Hall, to start out the season through 7 games, 14 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions. He's definitely going to have to cut down on that. I'm going to see it through the rest of the season, see how he does. If he doesn't improve, though, I could have to make a move here. Marlon Hall also ran for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns halfway through the season, so maybe he can touch 1,000 yards this year. And let's see who he gets to throw to. Nicky Dalmolin is going to be a guy that grows with Marlon Hall. They're both sophomores, so I guess that's a guy that he will have. Shaka Hayward in his senior year, he's leading the team in tackles. And then RJ Open, who is a junior, he leads the team in sacks once again for the 2nd straight year now, halfway through the season. And then do we see any of our freshmen here? Zach Hurst, only a half sack for Zach Hurst. I don't know what's going on with him. We have him at the starting left end, and it doesn't look like he's having much of an impact. He could be maybe a bust of a prospect. But Tyler Venables in his first year starting, an interception. He's off to a pretty good start. So here in season 3 recruiting, I just want to add more depth and hopefully a guy that can really make a difference on defense. I think that's what we really need. You see we're giving up a ton of points, including that 59-pointer to Middle Tennessee State. So I definitely want to make some changes here. Now, looking at the rest of our board here, Scott Haynes is a decent defensive end, but he's not interested. James Williams is interested, but we unlock his ratings here, and he ends up being 69 overall. Definitely not a good class here in season 3, so hopefully we can clean that up the rest of the season. But then after that, it gets worse. We're putting up the points, but our defense is just terrible, including a 56-17 loss versus North Carolina to end the season. Sam Howell is still their quarterback, but look at this. I mean, they just absolutely destroyed our defense. We definitely need to recruit on defense, maybe get there, maybe with the young guys coming up in the program, but something's got to give. We definitely have to turn a corner going into next season because it does not look pretty here in season number 3, especially since we finished last for the 3rd straight season. And now our job security is low. We improved by 1 win, but that's it. We're still a 3-win team. So going into the offseason, we do recruit a good guy there in Rodney Riley. We'll see what position he ends up playing. But our board doesn't look great. So we have a guy at the top of our board. I said I wanted to get a difference maker on defense. Lionel Davis could be that guy. We need to go all in on him. We have 1 recruit so far going into the offseason. We need to go big on him. So we decide to put 9,000 points on him because we just need somebody on defense to truly make a difference. And then we go after Marco Harden. Since we did lose Ryan Gilbert, who transferred to Toledo, we need a running back, a young guy, and hopefully Marco Harden can make that difference here as a freshman going into season 4. And we'll see if we get Davis after this. So we do move on, and we have some good news. Lionel Davis, we put 9,000 points on him. He ends up recruiting, or actually committing. What am I saying? Recruiting. And we do end up with the number 53 class. I think Davis really put us over the top there. He is our first 5-star recruit here. He is one of the best players coming out of high school. He's going to be amazing. Hopefully he can be that big difference maker we need on defense to really step up. And Rodney Riley ends up being a good receiver, so he's going to be a guy that's going to have 2 years with us. We're going only through 5 seasons, so hopefully he does pop here his freshman season. He's going to have to fight for playing time, though. Now, Marlon Hall is coming off of a 22 touchdown, 20 interception season, 2,500 yards passing, though. That's almost double his total from last year. He almost tripled his total in passing touchdowns, but also threw a lot more interceptions. I'm hoping that this year he will make a big stride and have a big improvement. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake of not playing our freshman running back, but Jordan Waters this year is going to be the starter primarily, and then Lionel Davis. We actually have a lot of outside linebackers, but I'm going to start him. I'm not going to waste any time. He's going to get in right away. And then Tyler Venables in his junior year is one of our highest rated guys on the roster. As we come into season 4 now, 96 pre-ranked. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Let's see how we do. So we actually start out winning, beating Army, who was actually ranked at the end of the season 22-20. But then it gets to an all-time low. We lose to FCS by 3. I mean, that is just ridiculous. How they shut us down like that? But we do bounce back. We lose a kind of a shootout there versus Northwestern, 38-53. But then something starts to click. We all of a sudden blow out FIU 49-7, then put 44 up on Syracuse. Our offense now starts to score some points. We lose by 7 to Virginia Tech. We lose by 2 to Virginia, so very close losses. But then we win a close one to Miami, the team that won the first 2 conference championships. Then we end up putting 55 up on Georgia Tech. And then we finally beat North Carolina 23-9, finishing 6-6 in season number 4. Just an amazing year, a great turnaround here. As you can just see, we are no longer last in the ACC Coastal, and we end up defeating Miami, a team that was dominating in our conference the first few years, and now we beat them, and we are bowl eligible. We go up against Colorado, and we'll see what happens on New Year's Eve, and we end up defeating them, and we move on to the offseason with a 7-6 record going into our final year. So in recruiting in the offseason, we end up with a couple of guys, but this is the last season that we have to recruit that really matters. So we need to get a guy that's really going to make a difference. Trevor Meeks is interesting, but he's just a depth guy. Lance Miller is just a backup. He's not going to matter much. And then there's Nick Burley, the quarterback. He's only 71 overall. But then we recruited an interesting guy. Akaika Manning, 77 overall. You can see his rating right here, but he is a 5-star athlete, number 3 athlete, and number 3 overall rank in the country. He looks like a receiver. He's built like one, 87 route running, 81 catching, but he's also a quarterback, 84 throw power, 81 accuracy. But with 1 season left, I can't risk it playing him at quarterback. I need to see what I can have out of Marlon Hall in his senior year. So he's going to play somewhere. We're going to put him at running back going into this season. So just quick stats of that last game versus Colorado. We actually end up winning a close one. And Marlon Hall only threw 80 yards in this game. And then Coleman ran for 2 touchdowns. So a little bit of momentum going into this next season, season 5. How about Dow Mullen, though? 11 receptions, 123 yards. And then Bowen Sims is going to be a senior as well next year. We're definitely going to need both of those guys. So Hall, Bowen Sims, and Dow Mullen will be the offense, along with Akaika Manning going into next season. Now, Marlon Hall this year finished pretty good, actually. 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So that is excellent. I want to see an improvement going into his senior year. He's going to be one of the highest rated guys in the country, and he's 93 overall. That means that his awareness was improving throughout the season. He actually ended up with 8 rushing touchdowns, 808 yards. I think 8 rushing touchdowns is his career high. And then there's Malik Bowen Sims. How about him? Almost at 1,000-yard season receiving, 7 touchdowns as well from him. And Dow Mullen also added 7 touchdowns. Very good year from him. And then R.J. Oben actually leads our team in sacks for the 3rd straight year. This time he had 9 sacks. He wasn't even one of the highest rated guys on the squad. But this is what I wanted to see. Lionel Davis and Zach Hurst are second on the team with 5.5 each. It looks like Zach Hurst has finally figured it out after 3 seasons. Just maybe like Marlon Hall, it took a few seasons for them to really pop. Now I see. But how about Dale Moore? He was one of the most underrated recruits here in the first couple of years. 4 interceptions for him that led the team. So going into season 5, who do we have to look forward to? Akaika Manning. Man, is he going to be good. I'm going to start him at running back. Hopefully he has an excellent season. After training, Marlon Hall goes up to 97 overall. This is our year to finally compete. Obviously, because it's the last year. He's got 94 awareness as well. Great improvement from him. I'm excited to see what he can do. We wanted to go after our franchise quarterback in year 1, and that's what we have. We have him at 87 throw power, 89 accuracy now. I'm excited to see what he can do here in his senior season. Malik Bowen-Sims is actually really, really good this year, 93 overall. Remember, he finished with our highest on the team, almost 1,000 yards in season number 4. And then Riley ends up being 3 on the depth chart now. And then Lionel Davis, one of the best rated guys on our defense. He's 88 overall. And we finally just have the depth. Hopefully, we can get it done in season number 5. So we start this season versus FCS. And it was a blowout, 51-21. But something is different about this team. 52-26 to UNLV, 42-10 to USA South Alabama, Florida State 24-14. That was a little closer. And then we play Baylor 45-14. And from there, we don't look back. This team absolutely dominates. Virginia Tech, they're number 2 in the country. We beat them only by 4. And this could be it. This could be the year that Duke ascends to the top of the ACC. Miami, it was a shootout, 49-42. But then we just bounced back quickly, 45-0 to Pittsburgh. And then we blow out North Carolina, 49-13. This Duke team is coming. And it stems off of a historic season by Marlon Hall. 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Can you believe that season? And believe it or not, he did not win the Heisman. He did not win the Heisman throwing 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Now, Akaika Manning had 604 yards rushing. He actually split a lot of time with Harden, but so be it. We had a very balanced team. We dominated. Marlon Hall didn't have to run as much this year. But Malik Bowen-Sims maybe had the best year of anybody. 20 touchdowns. He was absolutely dominant here in his redshirt senior season. 20 touchdowns, and Dalmolin had 10 of his own. I mean, this Duke squad has absolutely turned around. And now in our final season, we end up winning the ACC championship as well. We beat NC State 41-14. It wasn't even close. Marlon Hall finishes with 3 touchdowns in this game and 1 more on the ground. And it was just dominant. I mean, this team is so good now. And how about Malik Bowen-Sims? He adds another touchdown, make it 21 on the year. 9 for 171. So we have officially rebuilt this Duke program. And now we have a lot of awards to put up on our trophy case. You can just see all the awards. We won Coach of the Year, Best Receiver, Best Offensive Player. And now we move on to the National Championship. Can we cap it off with the ring? Virginia Tech and Duke. Earlier in the year, we already beat them by 4. And now we have a chance to beat them again, this time for the National Championship, giving Duke a huge boost to this program and leave it cemented in legacy. So let's just see what our team does here in the championship. And here comes Marlon Hall out onto the field in the first quarter. Here's his throw to the right side, and it's picked off. Virginia Tech already turns it over, and he will take it the distance. It's a touchdown. Alfonso Wilson Marlon Hall, 48 touchdowns. That's only his 6th interception of the year. Then Jalen Hampton runs it in, and I'm starting to get nervous. 13-0 to start out this game. And now here comes Marlon Hall at the end of the first quarter. He's going to scramble to the left side. He's going to break a tackle and get rid of it. It's Robertson over the middle. He stretches for the goal line. It's a gain of 24. So now at the 1, here is Hall. He takes it up the middle. It's a touchdown. Now 17-7 here in the second quarter. But here's our defense showing up, and that is a sack. And there is our guy, Brennan Clancy. We recruited him as a defensive tackle. He gets in for the sack. We move on to the second quarter now. Here's an interception, and our defense shows up. We recruited heavily on the defensive side of the ball, and it shows up right there. We get the turnover before half. 1:20 left. Here's a quick throw, and that is a catch before the first down marker. So we will settle for 3 right before half. So 28 seconds left. Here's a quick throw across the middle. It's picked off. Here we go the other way, setting us up with about 22 seconds left, just out of field goal range. It's Derek Davis, who we recruited as a JUCO. He finally gets his chance to start, and now we're inside the red zone. 15 seconds left. Throw to the corner. It's a touchdown. There's Rodney Riley. He's playing in the slot. He gets open. It's now a 20-20 game into the fourth quarter. So can we put together a nice 2-minute drill? Here is our quarterback, Hall. He actually loses ground and falls at the 1. That's a loss of 10 yards. He was almost in the end zone on that play, and the clock actually runs out. Virginia Tech does not call a timeout, and this one goes into overtime. So here's Brad Pierce in overtime. Quick throw across the middle. DeLon Wright across the middle, and it's a touchdown. It's actually Brad Pierce. And that one makes it the first passing touchdown of the game for Pierce. 4 interceptions. So here comes Marlon Hall. I hope they go for 2 if we get into the end zone. I want to see a thriller. Here is Hall from the shotgun. Throwing across the middle. It's Robertson. He picks up 5. And now it's 4th and 9. This could be the game. Hall from the shotgun. Throws to the right side. It's Robertson who gets lit up. Gain of 6. He needed about 10, and that one will do it. And Duke loses here in the national championship. But what a rebuild it's been. And we actually do it. We go all the way. But unfortunately, we end by a huge hit. And it's okay, because we rebuilt this program. We brought them from 3 straight last place finishes all the way to the mountaintop. And this was a fun rebuild. Go check out Bordeaux. He is a good YouTuber, and he does a lot of NCAA football. Go check out his channel. Go make sure you check out his side of his rebuild and see who won this challenge. This was a lot of fun. I want to do another one like this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still trying to fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going.